What's going on, basketball fans, and welcome to another episode of the 360 Slam podcast. I'm your host, Abbas AJ Jafri, and thank you so much for being with me here today. You see, folks, when your daughter comes up to you and says, "Dad, I want to make a sign for you for your next episode. Will you use it?" I go, "Of course I will. That's not even a question. Of course I'm going to use it." But this, I did not expect it to be this good. I mean, that's better than the one I have up here. So thank you, and y'all show your thanks and your love to my daughter for making this beautiful sign for the 360 Slam podcast. I mean, look at the detail on this. This is immaculate. This is great. You know, and the love and the support goes a long way. And as you can see, what she said down here, subscribe now. So please subscribe to this channel, like and share to all your family and friends outside of my circle. Share it with your circle. And for those who have, I am extremely grateful for that. I've gotten calls, messages for your support, your feedback, and how much you're enjoying this. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You've shared it with your friends. You've shared it with your family. People who I didn't even think would even watch this podcast, let alone share it, even they have. So thank you, everyone, for your love and your support. It goes a long way and is much needed right now. I'm picking up speed, right? Let's run, right? So right now, y'all pushing me towards the right direction. It's a long journey to create an online presence. Takes a while. But without your love and support, I can't do it. So those who have so far, thank you so much. If you haven't, please subscribe. Click that subscribe button. Press the bell icon. Do what you got to do. But please, it would go a long way. Now, your boy is back. He's back. I was gone for a week. You know, had some dental surgery that needed to be done. I was on the injury reserve list. But it's not like I was just sitting around doing nothing. No, as you can see, kind of spruced this place up, right? Got some pictures, updated hardware, and we're ready to go. So, thank you so much again for being with me here today. And speaking of injuries, speaking of players who need to kind of get going again, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. See, I know I've talked about Brooklyn in the past, starting it off, and we will talk about Brooklyn today, don't get me wrong. But let's talk about some on-court stuff now. And let's specifically talk about the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors. Now, I alluded to injuries. I alluded to players who kind of need to come back a little bit. So I'm obviously I'm talking about Klay Thompson, right? See, Klay's it's a bit of a weird dynamic with Klay, right? I personally think that slump that he went on, it wasn't because of the injury. I really don't believe that. I think it was a slump. Players get cold. It happens, right? And maybe he had some things going on in his head with his injury. Maybe he was a little timid. But here's the thing. He's not here. He didn't come back this year. He came back last year, right? Now, I'm on record to say, and you could see this on my IG channel, the video's up there. It's on my TikTok, right? Last year, I said, is it really a smart idea for Klay to come back? Will he be ruining a good thing? And happily, I was proven wrong. He came back, he played well, and they won a championship. Was Klay a liability? No, he wasn't. He played well. And the beginning of this season, the first maybe few games in, Golden State won, and he played well as well. And then all of a sudden he goes on a slump, and now people are like, is it because of his injuries that he's had in the past? Is it because of his knee? Is it because of his Achilles? I don't believe so. Because guess what? He dropped 41 last night against Houston. He played well against New York. Golden State has won 2 in a row. Now, I'm not here to say, oh, they're back and this and that. No, right now they're sitting 11th place in the conference. They're not even in the play-in right now. And we're about 16 games in right now. I believe they're 9-7 or 7-9. Sorry, they're 7-9. 1-8 on the road. So they got a long way to go. And that could be for a plethora of reasons. But I think it boils down to 2. You see, Golden State's season started during a practice before the season even started. Their season started before it started. And that was, unfortunately, the punch that Draymond Green threw at Jordan Poole. Now, we've heard stories that teams get into physical fights, and we kind of said, yeah, okay, that happens, no problem at all. But see, here's the thing. It's a different era now. It's a different league now. You see, back in the day when fights would happen in practice, but they would be able to handle it. Players would be able to handle it. Why? Because the style of play during the game was physical, right? So whatever was going on in practice kind of mimicked what was going on the court. Now, I'm not saying people were punching each other as a regular. Yeah, fights happen and then they threw punches then, right? But it was a very physical game back in the day. So when you heard about the bad boy Pistons getting fights into locker rooms, when you heard about Michael Jordan punching Steve Kerr in the face, yeah, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. But you got over it because the style of play was physical on the court. The style of play now is not like that. It's more of it's more like contact and physical play is not as it's not as accepted anymore. It's not as tolerable anymore. You get fouls left, right, and center. It's a softer league. Let's just say what it is. It's a softer league. And so players coming in now into the league are not used to a physical sort of play on the court. So when it gets physical off the court during practice, especially with your own teammate, it has a larger effect. It has it's not just you're punching the teammate, man. You're affecting the team's chemistry. And that's exactly what happened. When Draymond Green threw that punch and knocked out Jordan Poole, he rocked the foundation of that team. The chemistry, the support that they had, the love that they had amongst each other. Man, Draymond, I think, really messed up with that. Because the thing is, when you first read about the punch, when you first read about the physical altercation, you're like, okay, yeah, that happens. I mean, at least that's what I read. I wasn't like, whoa, they got into a fight. Oh my God. No, I wasn't like that because I grew up in a different era. Fights happen all the time. But when you saw the punch, see, that's the thing. Back in the day, when you heard about Jordan punching Kerr and the fights between the bad boy Pistons during practice, we never really saw the fight. This video was leaked, which shouldn't have. I agree. It should have stayed within the four walls of the organization. And that punch shouldn't have been leaked, but it was. The whole world saw it. And this is kind of the first kind of problem, adversity that the players and the team was facing. And I thought that, you know what? Yeah, it was bad. Draymond should not have done that to this kid, Jordan Poole, who had a phenomenal season last year. Him and Andrew Wiggins were key pieces to the Warriors winning a championship last year. And Draymond goes and punches him like that. It's not cool. It's not cool. You don't do that. And if you do that, then you leave it on. Then you don't get the video leaked. Whoever did that, they were wrong as well. But the point I'm trying to make here is that stuff, it's hard to tolerate because the stuff on the court is not physical anymore. So when Jordan Poole got punched, it was hard for him to handle that because he's not used to that. Forget other teammates. Forget other players on other teams. From your own teammate, you get punched in the face? That's hard to combat. So that's the first thing. The second thing, which really hurt, I think, kind of the mind frame of the team, the mindset of the team, was what Coach Kerr said. Coach Kerr is on record to say, I don't know how long this is going to last. This might be our last year. This is not going to last a long time. Now, of course, dynasties don't last for a long time. We know that. But the thing is, coaches aren't supposed to say that. They're not supposed to say, hey, this might be the end of the run. This might be our last hurrah. That's very deflating and discouraging to the team. And when players hear that, now Steph, Clay, Draymond, they might be able to get over that. and say and kind of, tone that out or tune that out, sorry, and turn a deaf ear to it and just play basketball. But guys like Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, that's hard for them to hear, especially when they're trying to grow and become better players. So the point I'm trying to make here is that even though they had all these chemistry issues off the court with Jordan Poole and Draymond, and then Coach Kerr saying what he said, I always thought, you know what? The Golden State Warriors have enough talent on their squad to get over that. Clay, Steph, when they get hot, you can't pour any water on them. You can't pour water on the Splash Brothers. You can't do it. But maybe it got to them as well. Maybe they weren't maybe they're not able to get over that hump. And it becomes really tough to bounce back from that punch. And what Coach Kerr is saying. Like that thing what Coach Kerr said, I mean, that's tough, man. I mean, you're already dealing with a physical altercation between your teammates, and then you say something like that. That's not what you're supposed to do as a coach. You're supposed to motivate them. You're supposed to give pep talks. Now, they've won 2 in a row, and Steph went like this against Houston, though. No disrespect to the Rockets, but come on, we know how they're playing. They got 5 games coming up, the Warriors, which are against good to great teams. Tonight, they got New Orleans, then they got the Clippers, then they got Utah, then they got Minnesota, and then they got Dallas. Pelicans are playing great, fun team to watch. Clippers are playing a little bit better now with Kawhi coming back, so that's going to be a test. That's always a test. You got Paul George, Kawhi, and John Wall's playing well as well. You got Utah. Utah, number 1 team in the West. You got Minnesota, which I think Golden State should be able to beat handedly. And then you got Luka Magic against the Mavericks. These next 5 games are really going to show to us, are the Warriors back to that old Warriors that we saw late last year. Now, I know I picked them to win the championship. I'm not going back on that because, again, we're just, 16 games in. Still got a long way to go. But they better figure it out fast. These 2 games are a great way to build momentum and win. But, man, like if you don't make these next 5 games count, then the Warriors are in trouble. Then it's going to be hard for me to stay with my pick because it's going to be really tough to bounce back if they don't win these next 5 games. And please, I'm hearing these rumors. Please do not trade for Kevin Durant, Golden State. Please don't trade for him. Please. When Kevin Durant left Golden State, it was the best thing to happen to the league. Now there's parity, competition. We have our predictions of who's going to come out to the East and the West, but we can't say definitively. When Kevin Durant was on Golden State, the competition was done in the league. Everyone knew Golden State was going to win. Nobody really even watched. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And we'll get into Brooklyn in a minute. But yeah, this is what's going on with the Warriors. Like, you have to make sure that you are back to that chemistry. And my final point is that you got to make sure that you play defense. You got to make sure you play defense. Curry dropped 50. Clay dropped 41. They won the game. But man, it went back and forth. Like Houston could have won last night. They could have won. And Golden State really needs to get back to that Golden State defense that they're so used to playing. And hopefully that'll get them back to their championship run like they did last year. So we'll see what happens in the next 5 games. I'm excited to watch. It's gonna be good basketball, especially that game against the Pelicans tonight, and even the Clippers tomorrow. I think will be good games to watch. Now, speaking of Utah, like I did in the previous segment, There are two big surprises that are going on in the NBA right now. And the number one surprise that I want to talk about are the Utah Jazz. Phenomenal coaching. It's really a team effort. Like I love it when there's not one true superstar and teams flourish and they play well. Like I think the 2004 Detroit Pistons really set that mark, right? When they beat the Lakers. It was just fun to watch. It was fun to watch. There's no true superstar. Yeah, they had all-stars. There's no doubt about that. But you know what I mean when I say superstars. Like the Lakers in 2004 had Shaq and Kobe. They're superstars. Pistons didn't have that caliber type players, but they are they won the championship in 2004. That's all that matters. And so when you see teams mimic that, it's great to see. And especially when you see Lauri Markkanen playing the way he played. He's an all-star, if you ask me, already. He should make the all-star team. He played well in Chicago, but this Lauri Markkanen is not the same Lauri Markkanen that we saw in Chicago. He's dropping fadeaways. He is really leading the charge right now for the Utah Jazz. I mean, this is a team, like I said, that we thought we're going to tank. The tanking Jazz, right? And they're proving everyone wrong. They're like, wait, who said that? Who said that we want to tank? Yeah, Wemba is a great player. Victor Wembanyama, he's a phenomenal player. Everybody wants him on his team. The guy's a 7-foot point guard. But that doesn't mean that you try to lose on purpose. Mike Conley Jr. is a vet. Rudy Gay is a vet. These guys don't play to lose. They play to win. And Utah, they lost Donovan Mitchell. They lost Rudy Gobert. But guess what they got in return? They got chemistry. They got players who want to win. Jordan Clarkson, Kelly Olynyk. These guys are young guys who want to win. They want to play to win. And they're showing that to everybody. And if Golden State really wants to look at a team who has it figured out so far, then look at the Utah Jazz, because you're going to be playing against them. The next 5 games, the third one is against Utah. And you better take a look at what's going on in Utah and try to mimic that. If there are chemistry issues in Golden State, which I think there are, look at that young team. See what they're doing. They're not backing down from anybody. They're not like, hey, yeah, we lost Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, but we're not going anywhere. We're number 1 in the league. Respect us. And they have our respect, and they definitely have our attention, especially Lauri Markkanen, man. I'm so happy for him. He's playing he's playing so well, and he deserved it because he was dangerous in Chicago. And now he's showing what he's made of in Utah. The second surprise, albeit not as big as Utah, but I still think it's a surprise. And some of you may not agree with me because you'll be like, Abbas, they were in the NBA Finals last year. But I still think the Boston Celtics, the way that they're playing so far, is a surprise. Why? Because of what happened in the offseason. Ime Udoka led that team to the finals. He did. And he got suspended for a year by his organization. And that rocked the team. There are some players that were legitimately shook by that suspension. Okay? I'm not going to get into if it should have and should have happened. I don't, that's not what I'm here for. I'll let y'all debate that. But the bottom line is that they lost their head coach. And now they have an assistant coach who's coaching for the first time in his career. And when you have a team like that is playing the way that they are with a first-year head coach, man, it becomes shocking. It does. They're playing better than they did last year. 13-3 right now. First place in the Eastern Conference. And Joe Mazzulla has a lot to be proud of. You know, yes, Boston was a favorite coming in. People have them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I personally think Milwaukee will take that spot. But the fact that they're playing better than they did last year. Jason Tatum is having an MVP season. 30 points per game. He's playing out of his mind right now. He's improving every single year. But I did not expect them to play this well after facing that much of a challenge that they have. Ime Udoka had a bond with that team, or probably still does. He took those young guys to the NBA Finals. He took that team and swept Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. And now he's not there. And they're playing better. Does that mean that Ime Udoka is a bad coach? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is that is respect to the talent of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown specifically and generally to the entire team. And Joe Mazzulla needs his flowers. He needs his props. So I didn't think that they'd be doing this well. I mean, they're well ahead of the pack. And so I think these two surprises, the Utah Jazz and the Boston Celtics, so far for me, have been the biggest surprises of the NBA so far. Now, let's move on to Brooklyn. There's a lot to unpack here, folks. There is a lot to unpack. Kyrie Irving made his return last night against Memphis, right? Had a decent game. I mean, I think he's still getting his cobwebs. Still thinks he's trying to shake out the cobwebs, the rust, whatever you want to call it. He played 26 minutes, had 14 points, and 41% field goal percentage. Decent for somebody who came back after 8 games. But the fact is a lot's going on right now in Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving, man, like I was one who was very harsh on him. It's on record. I don't take anything back. I still don't think he should have shared that video. Like, when your commissioner's Jewish and when the CEOs of your sponsors and your partners are Jewish as well, it's not smart to share a video like that. But the punishment does not fit the crime. It doesn't. I said in my YouTube short video that, and my TikTok, what they made Kyrie Irving do is ridiculous. It was ridiculous. The punishment didn't fit the crime. They wanted an apology. They got the apology. Then Joe Tsai says, he needs to show us that he's sorry. What? Like, those things are chemistry killers, folks. They're chemistry killers. You don't do that. Okay? That list that they made him do, he did it. He did it, and that's great. Kudos to Kyrie Irving for doing that. But he didn't have to. The punishment didn't fit the crime. And now what's happened, and I think this makes sense, and I as well am on this boat, is that, see, back before this happened, Kyrie did a lot of strange things, right? He didn't play last season because of the vaccine. He just didn't decide to show up to work whenever he didn't want to. And he's missed a lot more games than he played. But here's the thing. Before this suspension happened, he got paid for all the games that he missed. Right? And a lot of people gave a lot of slack to him. Can teams trust him? Is he something that you can commit to long term? And I don't know if that was the case or not. And now that this has happened, I feel like Kyrie now, those who criticized him are now supporting him. I was cheering for Kyrie Irving last night. I was happy for Kyrie Irving last night. I'm glad he came back. Because see, what happens sometimes, folks, is that when you have one act that's done to you, when you're a victim, all your previous mistakes that you made are forgiven. And I feel like that's what's happened right now with Kyrie Irving. All the stuff that we used to say in the past, man, this guy's not playing. Should he get paid? Should he even be in the NBA? He's caused headache after headache after headache. Should he be there? Again, I'm one of those people. And back then, yeah, I thought that was appropriate because you can't just not show up to work and leave your team hanging like that. You can't do that. But Kyrie Irving did that, and that wasn't cool. But see, this does not, what's happening to him now is just not fair. And I really think because of his past actions is why he's getting so much slack for putting up that link. Why he got so much slack for putting up that link. I really do. If this was his first mistake, I think people would have been more forgiving. But because of his past, this act that he did by sharing that link got magnified. It got magnified. But again, there's no excuse for what he had to go through. You wanted an apology, you got an apology. You wanted him to say he was not anti-Semitic, you got that. But that wasn't good enough, and then you changed the rules and made him go through all those things, which he did. It ended up being 8 games. It was a minimum of five game suspension without pay. It ended up being 8 games, and he did those things. And now he came back last night. And now, like I said, and I believe that he was a victim. And when you are a victim, those things in the past that happened to you, those things get forgiven. And now Kyrie, I really hope that this is some sort of rejuvenation for him. I really do. Because I want that Kyrie back, the same Kyrie I saw back in Cleveland. Because that Kyrie was special. He's still a special player. He's still a box office. He's still somebody you want to go see play. But that Kyrie was something else, man. And I said in my previous episode, it was either the previous one or the first one, a committed Kyrie is the best point guard in the league. And I hope that what he went through is a reset. I really do. I really hope that what he went through is a reset of everything that he's gone through in the past. And now we can look forward to this. Because Brooklyn won the game last night. They won the game. That team played very well. Ben Simmons played very well. And with Steve Nash fired and Jacques Vaughn now is full-time, this might have been the spark that they needed because they've been playing decent. I mean, I wouldn't be saying they're playing well. They're playing decent since Steve Nash has left. I mean, they were 2-5 when he was there this season, and now I believe they're about 4-2 or 4-6, I believe, since Jacques Vaughn took over. But they're playing well, and now Kyrie is being put into this position, put into this team, this new offense, this new defense, and they played well last night. They played really well, and I think that they deserve a lot of credit. KD looks like he's having fun again. Those points he's dropping now mean something. Yuta Watanabe is just shooting lights out. The best three-point percentage in the league right now. Ben Simmons seems like he found something out. And see, KD, when he called out his teammates, that was wrong. the way he did it was wrong. Sorry, let me rephrase. The way he did it was wrong. You want to light a spark under your team, I get that. But names like that, saying, I don't mean any disrespect. When you got to say, I mean no disrespect, it's coming off as disrespectful. And he named those players out. I mean, it looks like it was a sense of motivation when the front office of the Nets organization were starting to grow frustrated with Ben Simmons. And they question his passion for the game. Since then, he's been scoring in double digits, nearing triple doubles. So it looks like there seemed to be some sort of shift now in Brooklyn. With Jacques Vaughn now as the head coach, and Steve Nash, poor guy, man. I mean, he wasn't qualified to begin with, and he had to deal with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving from the start with no experience as a head coach. That's just a recipe for failure. So it's actually maybe a good thing that he's gone, and I hope Steve finds a job somewhere else. With Kyrie's issues, I hope now are behind him. I really hope that there's no new issue that'll come up with Kyrie, and that he won't, and he'll continue to play. And Kevin Durant looks like he got rejuvenated. We were saying trade Kevin Durant. Now it looks like Kevin Durant should stay, especially if the rumor is that he's going to Golden State. Please stay in Brooklyn. Okay? With all these things happening, Brooklyn seems to have found something that's working now. And I'm excited for their games. Now, here's the kicker though. Tuesday, tomorrow, they're in Philly. Where? Philly. Which team is that? Ben Simmons' former team. And with all the issues that are going on with Ben Simmons, not only on the court, but mentally as well, which is actually affecting his play on the court, is what myself and others are assuming. This test coming up on Tuesday is going to be kind of the litmus test to see where Ben Simmons stands mentally. This is going to be the game to find out, has Brooklyn really kind of hit the reset button? I am intrigued. I am excited for the game as a fan, but as a person, I'm a little worried for Ben Simmons. I really am. Philly fans are known to be very vocal, and they don't care sometimes. They're extremely passionate about their teams, and they hate what Ben Simmons did to their team. It's going to be a test. It's going to be a war zone on Tuesday in Philadelphia. So I would highly recommend all of you to watch that game. And if they can get over that and squeeze the victory out, win coming out of Philly, oh, this team has found something. And I think that prediction where people had Brooklyn going to the second and third top three seeds, that might become a reality if they're able to get over Philly. Then they got Toronto on Wednesday, so they got back-to-back 2 games. But Philly, I think, is the standard, is the test that that Brooklyn will have to go through. And if they can get over that, then Brooklyn might be back. All right, folks. Guess what time it is? Oh, the disrespect. Now, this has not been... Last week, sorry, I wasn't here. I wasn't able to do an episode. Therefore, no segment for Oh, the Disrespect. So guess what? Instead of top 5 plays, I'm going to give y'all top 10. Oh, the disrespect. Top 10 poster dunks recently that have been happening in the league. So, guess what, folks? Let's get to it. Let's go. So first on our top 10, we got Larry Nance Jr. here, getting the pass here from CJ, throwing it down. Oh, the disrespect. Oh, Larry Nance Jr. Yeah, Zion can't even believe it. If you impress Zion, woo, you got something. One more time, Larry Nance Jr. with the throwdown. Oh my goodness. Woo! Oh, the disrespect. Number 9. Going north of the border, Toronto Raptors Scotty Barnes with the ball at the 3-point line, and boom, throwing it down over John Collins. Watch your head, young fella. Oh, the disrespect. Let's see that one more time. Zoom in over John Collins. Number 8, keeping it with Toronto. Here we have the Raptors versus the Rockets here. OG Anunoby throwing down the lane. Oh my God, 2 hands. Oh, the disrespect. 2-hand poster? Let's see that one more time in your living room. OG Anunoby. No care. Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Next, we're headed to Washington, where Will Barton over 2 defenders of the Utah Jazz. Throwing it down. Oh, the disrespect. Will Barton throwing it down. Let's see this one more time, folks. Slow motion. Oh, the disrespect. Now, again, the throwdown wasn't that ferocious, but geez. The level of difficulty, you got to appreciate that. Next, let's head down to Chicago, where we got my man DeMar DeRozan going down the lane. Show him how it's done, DeMar. Show him how it's done. Oh, the disrespect. Look out. Look out. Woo! DeMar with the throwdown in your living room. Show him how it's done. Number 5, we got THT with the revenge dunk over his former team. Woo! THT would be like, y'all never should have traded me, man. Y'all never should have gotten rid of me. This is what happens. Right here, look at everyone smiling. The fans, the players can't believe it. They're like, what did we just watch? Let's see it one more time. THT down the lane. Ooh! Oh, the disrespect. Oh, the disrespect. Mike Conley saying, stand up. Next, we're going back to Toronto with OG Anunoby over Detroit. OG, you got that in your game? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh, the disrespect. Look at this. Woo! Number 3 on our list, we're staying in Toronto. We got Scotty Barnes once again against Chicago, coming down over Nikola, the disrespect. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The sophomore from Toronto, Scotty Barnes throwing it down. Telling the world the Rookie of the Year was no fluke. So nice. You know we gotta see it twice, folks. Here we go. Boom! Scotty Barnes, show him what you're made of. There you go. Next, we got Jeremy Sohan here. Oh, beautiful spin move over Sabonis. Oh, the disrespect. Oh, don't get fooled by that pink hair. No, 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 no. Jeez. Let's see that again, folks. Oh my God, Jeremy Sohan smacked in the face, but Sabonis, here is your revenge special. Oh, the disrespect. Look out. Look out. Oh, look at that smack, but look at that dunk. Sabonis, you have made it to the the disrespect for the wrong reason. And the number 1 dunk, we're going to Arkansas. Trevon Brazil with possibly the dunk of the year. Oh, Lord, look at this. Oh, my, look at that throwdown. Not only did he posterize him, but the strength of the throwdown, folks. Look out. Look out. He does not care. I'm making it to the NBA whether you want me to or not. So, folks, there you have it. Oh, the disrespect. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Remember to please follow me on social, on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at AJ360Slam. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace.